tactile language.
Okay.
Right? So for dogs, verbal communication, verbal language is the last thing they're going to pick up, just naturally.
Right.
That's why when we say like sit 6 or 7 times, maybe there's a difference in the way we're saying it, how we're saying it, and then the follow through might happen on the 5th or 6th. But most of the time, that comes from a cue or a tactile language that we're like taking pressure or something else is happening at that 6th time for them to follow through with it.
Okay.
So we want to begin to say, like, eliminate that a little bit. The way we do that is through tactile language. So if you think about like classical conditioning, is new language, old language. New language takes over old language. Okay, awesome. So dogs will have a natural understanding of some sort of tactile language, especially from mother. They might push them around. She might nip their little neck or something like that. How to move them in and out of space.
Right.
Right.
Right. So we want to have that leash take over what mom started, and then we want to have the e-collar take over what the leash started.
Okay.
Right? So if we think about this as a car, right? This is a great steering wheel. This is a great gas pedal and brake. Takes us both to get where we need to go.
Right.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna ask you to wear the leash first. Cool. All right.
First.
Nice. All right. So this is the very first language that we're gonna teach.
Okay. Yeah, it's getting more
Yes.
pressure. You're not wanting me to do anything, are you?
Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you pull back, what happens?
Yeah. You don't let.
Yeah,
You
and
don't.
then you let
You don't
go.
budge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So now I'm
Okay.
trying to teach you.
Okay. So if I pull,
Nothing
then I let go. You say yes.
Pressure goes away. Yes happens. Right. So now we're automatically teaching the dog that when they have this opposition reflex, nothing good happens.
Right.
That this is our steering wheel. I want you to get to the party. So the safest way I can get you there is to buckle you in and drive you there.
Right.
Same way for the dogs now. So when we go like this, we say yes and feed, right? So yes marks the time that what you're doing is correct for what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. So over time, that becomes much easier before it gets less and less. Then it's hardly there. Now it's only there as a directive piece, not so much as a corrective piece.
Okay.
Make sense? Cool. All right. So then we begin to add something else to it. All right, I'm going to ask you to hold it. It vibrates.
Okay.
You
Don't
feel the
shock
vibration?
me. Yeah. Don't shock.
Now, tell me when you feel any sort of stimulation.
Oh yeah, I just felt something
Okay.
like a little electric
You
shock.
feel a little something there?
Yeah.
All right. Tell me when you feel it again.
Yeah, I still feel it, but it's
You
less.
feel that? Okay.
It's less.
Cool. All right. So now, just hold it for me.
Okay.
Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go e-collar.
Did you get it?
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't feel. I don't.
You didn't feel that
I
one?
don't think
Awesome.
I did. Maybe.
So you see how like nuanced it can be, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can feel
Nice.
it, but it's not bad.
Okay. So you feel that? I
Yeah.
go like this.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it all goes away. Now over time, I go like this,
Yeah.
and you come with me, and now there's no leash, right? So at that time, now we get to relay verbal information, right? Now I get to go, Fido, come, boom, cool. Fido, come,
Yeah.
cool. Then I get to go, Fido, come,
Yeah.
and you're beating, right? Now we're setting something up for the dog to beat. The contact method, there's a few different methods the way other people might teach the e-collar. One's called a contact method. When I say it, the stimulation happens. But then there's nothing for the dog to beat at that point. I want to, over time, fade anything and everything that I can and have verbal communication. So the most reliable way to do that is I go, Fido, come, and he beats it, so there's nothing there. So now I can say, if you're from a big distance away, Fido, come, he turns around and takes off. Maybe I give a gas pedal halfway. Maybe I give a gas pedal as soon as you get here. Maybe I give a gas pedal as soon as you turn around. But now that all becomes it's negative reinforcement, but it all becomes very negative reinforcement. So it doesn't always happen. If there's compliance, the information is needed. So if we think about the e-collar and the leash and the verbal, all these things is just information in order to follow through with the behavior we're looking for. Does that make sense? All right, so as we play today, as we do things today, that's all we're going to work through is you guys using less of your language, less of your voice, and more of a tactile language. That's going to get you further today than anything else. So if we're not gaining compliance, if we're not gaining information, the information is not necessary, or it's not enough information, we have a way to go higher. We have a way to go lower.
Just with this, right?
Yeah, just with that. That's what we're going to work on as we go for a walk. Anytime we're in the right situation, reward for it. You cannot overly reward today. Anytime you like where she is, yes and pay. Right? So now we have a way of saying positive reinforcement, of saying you're in the right position, stay there. Now we have a negative reinforcement, a way to say, hey, I need to bring you a little bit closer. Make sense?
Yes.
And then when it goes away, now we're teaching a dog that they can turn something off and access something. Right? Not just if you're here, something good happens for you, great, but if you go away, well, nothing good happens, but nothing bad happens either. So in that situation, the dog only has what is correct, but doesn't know what is incorrect. Right? In the other situation, where we can say, hey, this is incorrect, but that doesn't mean necessarily they know what is correct. So that's why both forms of communication are going to get you a lot further. We could end up in a situation where we have to say, no, don't do that. Fair enough. But reinforcement is just that. It only means that we get the opportunity to replicate this behavior over time. Right? Punishment only means that it's less likely to happen over time. Reinforcement means it's going to happen more likely over time. Right? So we use this as a form of reinforcement. Okay?
Yeah.
That make sense? Okay, cool. You're probably going to find today that she feels that somewhere around like a 4 or 5, and you're going to feel it in like a 15 to 20. So that's like the perception difference of what's happening, right? So that little piece is what she's going to look for her information. Just like when we're walking. If we walk like this and you're in the right spot, eventually you're going to be like, yeah, I'm in the right spot. Well, what am I doing wrong, right?
Yeah.
So there has to be some sort of release. Okay?
Okay.
Learning happens in the release.
Okay.
That's when the learning happens. If we always kept it tight, or we always were like, come on, hey, come on, shut up, come on, come on. Nothing's being learned there. We have to figure out some way of saying that's correct, and it all goes away. Just like when we're steering the car. If we're in the correct lane, then we're not holding the wheel all the way to the right or all the way to the left. We're just following along traffic. All right. If you guys are okay with it, we'll put on some treat pouches, we'll go for a walk, and we'll practice.
Okay.
Fair? Cool.